मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
In the news tonight, the nation waits for COVID budget at 7:30 p.m. Tambuya taken in by the police. And numbers at the fever clinic increases.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
As the nation waits for the Minister of Economy to deliver the COVID-19 response budget, we will be going to Parliament House live at 7:30 p.m. Meanwhile, the Reserve Bank of Fiji says the Fijian economy is currently in uncharted waters and headed for a recession this year, with measures announced to assist Fijians. RBF Governor Arif Ali says due to the deadly COVID-19 pandemic affecting the world, this has led to the shutdown of the tourism activities and transmitted significant negative knock-on effects to the broader economy. The central bank will expand its natural disaster and rehabilitation facility to include businesses affected by epidemics, pandemics, and be renamed the Disaster Rehabilitation and Containment Facility. Ali revealing that the total allocation for this facility has been raised to $60 million. We now join Maggie Boyle, who is at Parliament House, waiting for the supplementary budget announcement. Maggie, the measures announced by RBF shows the effect COVID-19 is having on the world. What else can you tell us?
Good evening, Jackie. Well, to give you some perspective, a week ago today we were announcing the first confirmed coronavirus case in Fiji. Since then we've now confirmed 5. And since then, of course, we've had 95% and now more, of course, of those international flights suspended. The tourism industry, the first to take the biggest hit. How does this have an economical impact? Well, this pandemic is having a serious economic impact, social and developmental. This budget today is going to respond to COVID-19. We understand there will, of course, be a lot of assistance towards the health sector and their response in curbing this particular infection. There'll also be assistance to those in the financial sector and banks. That assistance, of course, to prop up the measures that they have in place that they then can pass on to their customers in terms of reduced rates and holidays, mortgage holidays, if you will, among a number of other avenues as well. In terms of other packages, particularly with the tourism sector, where you've had already a number of layoffs and people having to close their hotels down, there's ideally going to be stimulus packages to assist those who've had to be laid off, those who've had to work reduced hours as well. For SMEs, small, medium enterprises, these are the businesses that run the economy, looking to see what assistance is going to be provided for them. As we know, the economy minister had tweeted earlier today that this is in response, like many other governments around the world, having to respond to COVID-19 and looking at the next 3 months on and how tough it's going to be. People, of course, these measures are going to help cushion the effects and the economical impacts that a lot of families will be feeling.
Thanks so much for that, Maggie. A member of Parliament and a doctor were today taken in for questioning by police's Criminal Investigation Department. Opposition Whip and Sadelpa MP Linda Tambuya is believed to have been taken in for questioning in relation to a possible breach of the Public Order Act. When approached by FBC News if she could tell us why police wanted to question her, the MP said she had no idea. Meanwhile, earlier in the day, Nandi-based Dr. Isireli Mbumaitatoya, known as Lily Darling on social media, was transported into Suva to CID HQ in Turak for questioning, also related to a possible breach of the Public Order Act. Both Tambuya and Dr. Mbumaitatoya are prolific social media commentators and have recently been vocal about how COVID-19 as a national public health concern is being dealt with. 3 women appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court today for allegedly spreading false information on social media in relation to the COVID-19 situation in the country. 32-year-old bank officer Sharun Kumar, 36-year-old Titilia Dhamaimbao, residing in Nandali, Nausori, and 53-year-old Maritha Mbole of Munikoso Nasinu are charged with 1 count each of malicious act. It is alleged that their post created panic and fear among the general public. Kumar has been remanded in custody until next Thursday. 36-year-old Titilia Dhamaimbao of Nandali, Nausori has been referred to the St. Giles Hospital for psychiatric evaluation. The matter has been adjourned to next Thursday. 53-year-old Maridambole of Munikoso Nasinu has been released on bail. The matter has been adjourned to 15th June for plea. Fijians have been showing up at fever clinics in Lami and Valelevu, Nasinu with symptoms such as cough, sore throat and body pain. The two clinics have not recorded any suspected case of COVID-19 so far. Kelly Vadalo reports the strategy is a precautionary measure set up by the Health Ministry, taking into consideration it's the flu season as well.
These health professionals manning the fever clinic at Tikaram Park, Lami says about 20 people visited this morning, but they do expect numbers to accelerate in the coming days.
I am not taking this virus for granted. As soon as I knew there was a clinic here, I had to get my health status updated.
I am scared of this virus. The number of cases are increasing. I am old, so it's just right that I get myself checked.
As Fijians enter the fever clinics, they're advised to adhere to directives in place, 2 meters physical distance and proper sanitizing of hands. More than 20 fever clinics have been set up around the country. Each clinic has an isolation tent. If health professionals manning the clinic do find or suspect a case of COVID-19, they will be kept here until the relevant authorities are called in. There is also strict movement into the Valelevu clinic with people bringing in family members to get checked.
My son has been coughing from yesterday, so I just want to make sure to have a checkup.
I come to check,
Fever clinics have also put up notices such as these saying you can only enter the premises if you had current history of cough, sore throat or fever and travelled overseas recently or went into an area with confirmed local spread of cases of COVID-19 in the past 14 days. Kelly Vavala, FBC News.
Up ahead, market vendors not taking any chances. Details after the break.
Nadang ko aproslan karse, go erkraki, do televizyon varong na Radio Fiji 1, nandom ibit.
Radio Fiji 1 nandom.
Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Ngilio has confirmed that medical tests conducted on the senior female officer who had COVID-19-like symptoms have come back negative. The Ministry of Health has also cleared the senior Western Division Command who were directed to quarantine themselves in their Lautoka base headquarters yesterday. The woman was in isolation upon her return from Italy, but presented herself to the Lautoka Police HQ after 14 days. Following this, she again displayed symptoms similar to COVID-19. Brigadier General Ngilio says they are grateful for all the well wishes for the officers in quarantine, as well as members of the Fiji Police Force who are out there on the front line on COVID-19 special and routine operations.
Looking after our men and women in the force is a priority as well, especially those there in Lautoka. Everything that we've talked about, social distancing, and and the masks and the PPEs, when they need to come out, we've discussed that with the Ministry of Health, who's factored that into their planning.
A number of businesses in Namaka Nandi have closed as Fiji recorded its 5th coronavirus case yesterday. FBC News went around the Namaka area today and saw at least 10 shops closed, including restaurants, clothing outlets and a hardware shop. Most of the businesses have notices in place stating they will remain closed until further notice. Other shops in the Namaka area that are open have taken strict measures to ensure people are practicing social distancing. The Hobred Kitchen outlet is urging its customers to adhere to social distancing while inside the shop. They've also placed hand sanitizers. FBC News also observed a bank outlet checking the temperature of customers with thermal monitors before allowing people inside. Customers are also required to sanitize their hands prior to entering. And we now join Felipe live. Felipe, what is the feeling like in Nandi town where the airport looks deserted as never seen before?
Yes, Jackie, as mentioned earlier, a few businesses in Namaka have been closed for the past few days. Also for Matintar and Nadi Town, a few shops have closed, with employees asked to take either early leave or leave without pay. And Jackie, earlier today I was also at the Nadi International Airport, and what a sight it was. A very rare sight, I must say, as the airport is currently closed following the announcement by the Prime Minister yesterday, and also due to the fact that 2 COVID cases were brought in from overseas. You know, it's a fact that the airport is always full with people, but today there were only a few staff that could be seen moving around. I also had a chat with some of them, and what they've told me is that never before in their lives have they encountered something like this. And as usual, at the arrivals area outside, at any given time, taxis will be parked outside waiting for passengers, but today that was not the case. There's also a few restaurants and souvenir shops located at the airport, and from what I've been told, that staff have either transferred to other shops around Nandi or asked to take leave. And Jackie, it's clear from the pictures that you've seen, it's an unprecedented step to ensure that our borders are closed during these trying times.
Truly is. Thanks so much for that, Felipe. No one is taking any chances against the deadly COVID-19 virus. The vendors and farmers at the supermarket have also put in place measures to protect themselves and customers. The Suva United Market Vendor Association president says one area they are facing issues with is maintaining social distance. Kritika Kumar reports.
The farmers and food vendors are adhering to the best practices outlined by the Health Ministry to reduce the exposure and spread of coronavirus.
We have our own hand sanitizer, and we wash our hands properly, and we maintain the distance that we are supposed to do, 2 meters away from each other or away from each other, not like before.
Social distancing might be new for some. However, it is important, together with proper hygiene, to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
We're trying our best, but if you see, this is a public place, and it's very hard to maintain that. The dirtiest thing we are handling is the money. It changes hand frequently. So in that regards, we are trying to tell our vendors to wash our hands as much as possible.
Priya Prasad believes battle against COVID-19 is every Fijian's responsibility.
As a responsible citizen of Fiji, we have to take precautions as announced by the government. Like, we should wash hands on time and take all the precautions that have been announced, and we have to pay heed to it to avoid of this COVID-19.
Meanwhile, the Suva bus stand, which is usually busy with activities, looked empty today. Just a handful of passengers were seen waiting for buses. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The ongoing water disruptions along the Suva-Nausori corridor has the Health Ministry worried. Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wangai-Nabete says they are hopeful that the Water Authority will resolve the issue quickly, especially at a time when they are focusing on combating the spread of COVID-19. Apenisa Wangai-Ndovu reports.
The government and other relevant authorities have been emphasizing on hand washing constantly, but many cannot practice this due to the water cuts.
We are as concerned as you are, maybe more than you, Edwin, because certainly we're not looking at only personal hygiene, but also our facilities. Our staff need to come to work, and we've made it very clear in our discussions with Water Authority.
These residents in Newtown, Masinu, say they don't have proper water supply for almost 2 months now.
It's not on because we need water in our everyday living.
We are really concerned. Every day we see government being concerned with the virus. What about us? We need water just like anyone else, especially because of this virus that is going around.
A shocking discovery was also made that these residents are now relying on a nearby creek which has contaminated water.
Behind me here is the water that we use for cleaning the toilet, because we don't have the water to come and clean the toilet.
In Kinoya, a resident questioned how they can maintain proper hygiene.
We pay the bill, everything up to date, but we need water because of the coronavirus. We have to need the wash every time, wash our hand, but no water. How can I wash my hand?
WEF says they are aware of the situation and its ground teams are working to normalize the water supply. The authority is also urging customers to conserve water and store sufficient amounts to last them for at least 2 to 3 days during any unplanned disruption. Apinisawang Grandobu, FBC News.
Up ahead, garment industry feels COVID effect. Details after the break.
My name is Neha and I'm from Karavi, and Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The deadly coronavirus continues to disrupt almost every industry and sector worldwide, and Fiji is no exception. After the tourism sector, the textiles, clothing and footwear industry is now feeling the effects as several garment factories are planning to cease operations, while some in the Western Division have already stopped production. Pranita Prakash reports approximately 7,000 employees will be affected.
With no orders being placed by our major trading partners, the garment factories have no option but to stop production.
Some companies, my company being one of them, we're going to have to shut down for a period of time because our orders have dropped off, and our customer base at this time of the year is sports clothing, and a lot of the sports in Australia and New Zealand have been suspended. So that's going to impact upon our businesses reasonably dramatically over the next few weeks and months.
While the industry is projecting substantial losses, there is also uncertainty on the employment of garment workers.
There's possibility that there could be job losses. That's the last thing on our mind at the moment. We hope not, but we don't really know because we're in uncharted waters here.
A mother of 5 who has been working in the garment industry for 28 years says it is a difficult time for them.
I feel for these people because they live on $100 to $120 per week, and to have that much money for a month or 2 months or even 3, I have no idea how they are going to survive.
Some garment factories have been able to employ their staff for a minimum of 45 hours, but this will be reduced further and may eventually stop completely. This will not only affect the 7,000 workers, but also their families. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
People working on inter-island shipping vessels face layoffs. 2 leading shipping companies have confirmed that they will be telling staff to go home, following government's decision to halt all passenger services to outer islands from Sunday. Sanyani Boiler reports.
Only core staff at Gander Shipping will be coming to work until further notice.
I'm meeting with all our the manager of our company, and we will have to do like what other companies are doing, like Fiji Airways laid off so many people. So we will only take essential service workers only to run our ship for the cargo shipment.
While Interlink Shipping Service is taking similar stance, they are also ensuring that their staff take something back home in this trying time.
So we are going to lay off a certain percentage of the employees, and we are trying to discuss the best way possible that we can try to accommodate all the employees on a rotation basis so that everyone gets a job in a week.
The 2 shipping companies will make their final journeys to the Maritime Islands tomorrow and will return on Saturday. The government is concerned about the virus reaching any of our outer island communities, and while shipping lines for freight will continue, with increased bulk, there will be no services for passengers. Sainiani Boila, FBC News.
Non-government organizations providing crisis helpline services have noted an increase in COVID-19 related calls from the public. Lifeline Fiji and Empower Pacific have received calls from people from all divisions following the announcement of the first confirmed case. Sainiani Boiler reports.
Majority of the calls were made by people from Lautoka after restrictions on the movement was placed.
Generally, they were worried about if there were going to be any issues with available resources, such as, food items, medications, if the relevant services would be open to access. And most of all, I think they were focusing more on the feelings and emotions related to this particular situation that we are currently facing.
Lifeline Fiji team leader Charimai Merikula says many of these callers needed more information about COVID-19.
For the past few days, we've been receiving calls from the Western Division as far as the Northern Division. We've been calling in regards to the COVID-19. We have some panic callers that are concerned about this pandemic.
Lifeline Fiji and Empower Pacific have assured their 24/7 toll-free crisis helpline will remain operational in an effort to promote the emotional well-being of every Fijian. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Market vendors in Singatoka have no choice but to lower prices of vegetables being sold as the demand from hoteliers have decreased. Farm produce is abundant in supply, and in an effort to sell their stock, vendors have decreased prices. Chosai Nanunga with the story.
55-year-old market vendor Saipora Rangura, who has been selling at the market for 20 years, says this is the first time they have experienced such a situation.
Fiji is really feeling the effects of COVID-19. We here at the market noticed a huge drop in the number of our customers, particularly hotel workers. They left us to make no other choice but to lower the price tags of the massive agriculture produce we have in stock, the ones yet to be harvested.
The decision to lower the prices was a tough one for some of the vendors.
Very hard time this one, so we are facing a lot of problem. We can't afford our family, we are not selling our vegetables, and plenty people are not coming to buy the vegetables.
I normally sell these vegetables and freshwater mussels to Fijians who are residing abroad during their visit to our country. Now I have less customers, and in order for me to sell this produce, I have to reduce the prices to at least $2 or $3.
While the government is emphasizing on social distancing and Fijians are being urged to refrain from non-essential travel to towns and cities, the drop in vegetable prices is a bonus, as everyone can make healthy eating choices and make less visits to the restaurants. Chosai Yedenunga, FBC News.
Up ahead, all the latest from the international front on coronavirus. Details after the break.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The number of COVID-19 infections in New Zealand have jumped with 78 new confirmed cases recorded today. There are now a total of 283 cases. 27 people have recovered and 7 are in hospital in stable condition. The country has gone into a 4-week lockdown from yesterday. Many travellers are dealing with major uncertainty as countries are imposing lockdowns, from families desperate to reunite to those who have endured the anxiety of trying to get home as options run out. The death toll from COVID-19 in Spain has now surpassed China, making it the second highest in the world. The number of deaths rose by 738 in just 24 hours. That's a new daily record. Close to 50,000 people have fallen ill in the European country, with 2,500 in a critical state. Prince Charles remains in good health despite testing positive for COVID-19. The 71-year-old is currently in self-isolation along with Duchess Camilla. Up ahead, network issues affects Fijian mobile users. Details after the break.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Vodafone Fiji has reported a major surge in network traffic from businesses and individuals. The telecommunications company has released a statement saying there is abnormally high traffic similar to what is being reported in other countries. Faria Begum has more.
Vodafone Fiji says the surge could be because many companies are using the work from home alternative for staff.
I think during this period it is essential for the internet service providers to make sure that the best connectivity speed is given.
Vodafone Fiji says schools have closed and this has led to a significant increase in home use because students have restricted movement. Users from various parts of Fiji have spoken about poor network quality for voice calls and internet usage. Consumer Council of Fiji Chief Executive Seema Shandil says service providers should step up in times of need. Shandil says with people working from home, proper connectivity is vital.
They need the speed in order to make sure that they communicate effectively and can work efficiently from back from home. So this is the time when they need to actually provide the best service.
The council has registered 51 complaints regarding poor network services since 2017. Faria Begum, FBC News.
People with disabilities are hoping more awareness and enforcement is put in place around preventative measures such as social distancing. This comes as the Pacific Disability Forum is urging authorities to ensure they consider persons with disabilities in their COVID-19 planning, response and related actions.
Necessary measures need to be in place to safeguard people with disabilities, as social distancing and self-isolation may be impossible for those who rely on the support of others to eat, bathe and dress.
You are often relying on a personal assistance, or you're often relying on assistive device. So when it comes to social distancing, for example, those who are blind or vision impaired, they and needing the support of a sighted person as a guide. Now, 2 meter distancing would be quite difficult because he or she will be hanging on to the elbow of the person who's assisting him or her.
The Fiji Disabled People's Federation says it is critical that their exposure and vulnerability to the pandemic are recognized and properly understood.
Not to become protective only for themselves, but making sure that they care for persons with disability, the elderly, single mothers, pregnant women, children, that they're out there, making sure that their well-being, is also cared for. And this is in all aspects of life.
The Pacific Disability Forum says they will continue to work with its members and regional partners to ensure the inclusion of persons with disabilities and promote an effective approach in COVID-19 response. Lena Rees, FBC News.
The Tauke Affairs Board has confirmed that all villages or district heads have the authority to impose restrictions within their boundaries. Board Deputy Chief Executive Josefa Tonganivalu says the government is doing all it can to contain COVID-19 and support from the Vanua is needed. Tonganivalu adds for special occasions such as funerals, the Turangani Koros must liaise with the Rokotuis to make requests with the Health Ministry and the police force.
This is not an easy time for Fiji, and we must unite and assist our government by taking all the necessary steps in stopping the spread of COVID-19. The Tauke Affairs Board believes this is an opportunity as well to spend quality time with our families at home and have a prayer schedule as the divine intervention can spare us from the scourge of COVID-19.
And the weather today changed quite quickly. Showers were experienced in a few areas around the country. In the west, sunshine was constant without any chance of showers. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, showers spread out, lowering the humidity. And up north, a cooler day for the northerners. Now for the tides, high tide is at 8:13 p.m. with low tide at 2:17 a.m. Sunrise at 6:11. And for tomorrow, more showers to be in the day's picture. Tomorrow's temperatures, Lautoka will take on the heat at 32 degrees. And further outlook, we're looking on to Saturday, light showers to continue. And recapping the main stories for tonight, COVID-19 response budget to be announced, Tambuya taken in by the police, and numbers at the fever clinic increases. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question this week we're asking, should supermarkets restrict the number of items one can purchase during the COVID-19 period? Visit our FBC website to answer. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News, our Twitter page at FBC_news, or hashtag FBC News. And before we go, remember that we are amidst a global pandemic. Please ensure to follow all advice from authorities and also only follow the official announcements and updates. Stay safe, and if you are out shopping, please be considerate. That was your FBC News for tonight. And again, a friendly reminder from the team and I, remember to wash your hands for 20 seconds, practice self-distancing and social distancing, physical distancing too, and stay safe. Be kind. Good night.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.